Hey, fellow YouTubers. GameBro here. Sorry this took so damn long. There are multiple reasons why I haven't been up to recording as of late. First off, I was kind of struggling with depression last month, and much of this month, assuming it'll still be March by the time I upload this. And it's been stressful as well as being depressing. At Papa John's, I've been having to make deliveries after deliveries with very, very few opportunities for breaks. I have considered quitting until I convince my boss to actually have me work different hours, so I'll be working phone opening till 7 p.m. Take a look at the options and such, because we're going to start a new game. But by average, I had to use up like 75 miles every day I worked there. It was just a bit too much for me. I'm not going to be calling myself Rayman. I can't call myself GamePro 522 either. We can only put, for some reason, can only put 6 characters on there. Actually, what am I doing? I'm going to call myself GPro 52. That's close I can get to putting my full YouTube username on. But yeah, as you can see, this is Let's Play Rayman 2 Revolution. Only the PlayStation 2 version is called Revolutions. Can you put... Oh, silly me, you can't put... numbers in here. What should I call myself? I'm pretty sure I called my other file GPro as well. Okay, I'll put in LP. That's the best I can come up with. There are multiple versions of this game. Can you put in a 7th one? There was one released for the N64, the original PlayStation, the Dreamcast. There were ports later released on handhelds, first the DS, then the 3DS, which is a little redundant, but whatever. I originally got into this game by trying out the original DS version, which received mediocre scores, but still got enjoyment out of. Actually, I should be speaking over this. Even with subtitles. I'm never sure what to do, like whether I should be speaking over these or not. I mean, it's my choice clearly, but just when this dialogue is clearly different, but I'm not that used to voice acting in video games. Cameos obviously an exception. Some lum collecting in this game. Nowhere new to extent as Rayman Origins or Legends. Not so sure about Rayman 3. I'll have to play through that game again.
The pirate's prison ship. Commander, the Admiral Razorbeard. Slaves now on board, 19,000.
That's a boatload. Har. See what I did there? That was kind of bad. I am aware. But, oh well, what can you do? You have a bit of animation to look at every time there's a loading screen. It's not that much variety even, but it's something to look at as you're waiting for the game to load. It's better than nothing. This game introduces Globox. was shown in pretty much every main Rayman game after this. Unlike the later Lee the Fairy,
Rayman? Lumos, my friend! Not really. I feel weak and my powers have disappeared.
if I were to leave the music volume as it is, you'd barely able to hear these characters.
I think this might be
It would bother me even with subtitles, so I recommend turn it down halfway.
Good gift from Lee. Lee? The fairy? A silver lump.
That mouth could have looked far better for a PlayStation 2 game. It is a really good looking PlayStation 2 game for an early one. Although some of the lighting isn't all too impressive. A lot of the models and environments look pretty good. Not Ubisoft's finest, but
She'll give me all my powers.
generally pretty good for a PlayStation 2 game. So,
Okay then, break down the door with your fist.
right, resecting aside, stated that I've originally played the DS version. Besides not being as visually impressive, I'm not sure what exactly well, obviously the lack of a joystick or thumb pad too, but not sure what all makes it that much worse than these other ports, which receive 9s out of 10s, whereas the DS version received 6 out of 10s. But, whatever. The difference between this version's Rayman, down here is a file that I originally got that from the other disc I got. Until the game would not allow me to go any farther due to the disc's condition. Did buy a second one, but a few months later and was able to make it through then. I left on there because the file on there because I picked up a game buffer not too long ago. See if I can make it past that part with that particular disc, and I have been able to. So I can sell one of my copies now. Here's Murphy, another reoccurring character, and its constant grin. And we're kind of going through some tutorial stuff at the moment. Nothing too complex, especially not for a kid's game.
And I'll quickly appear in your mind to help you. If my advice sounds confusing, come to a halt near the stone and keep the square button pressed down. I will appear and repeat the instructions.
Gotcha. I was about to say, I know one difference between this and the N64/Dreamcast counterparts. I assume original PlayStations as well, for that matter, but in those games, you just have some level select screen. In this one, you can actually go through some worlds, like in Sonic Adventure or whatever, and head to the levels there instead of simply just selecting the levels. I kind of like this added feature. Some may view it as padding and maybe it is, but it is kind of neat being able to explore the worlds.
You just a little
They are appealing to look at and all.
The familiar spirits are the friends of the fairies. When you finish
I have considered replaying through the first Rayman game. I am still considering, it has been 5 freaking years. My commentary is bound to be a lot better. I remember back then, I was unintelligent and wasn't speaking that much. Not that I'm a genius now, but... Well, here's another creature from... I don't know why I said another. actually. That was Mosquito there, the first boss you faced, and then befriended in the first Rayman game. The gameplay compared to this is fairly different. I mean, you are still having to search your worlds to find cages. Instead, you're not freeing lecterns this time, and this time you're collecting lums. A good chunk of several elements have been borrowed from the first game, but it's definitely it definitely feels fresh. Granted, it is 3D, so that alone should make it feel fresh.
Now, don't worry, kiddies. I'll bring your dad back. But first, I've got to find Lee.
So much mouth moving, even when there's no
Nice to hang out
speaking.
around here. Have you seen her? What?
Then again, this is a foreign game. I actually originally played through this in French
I've got to set her free.
when I was going getting from start to finish for the first time, and I was actually considering doing that for my playthrough. It's the same logic as when I played through Sonic Adventures / Sonic Adventure 2 in Japanese, because it's the game's national language, and I asked this to those who are still going, what the F? How is playing a French game in its national language any different from enjoying a Japanese game in its own language? It's the same logic, but I'm still gonna get some weird looks. Plus, I've yet to play this game in my national language, so what the heck, I will play through this game like a normal human being. Usually have a lot more lumps to collect than that. And here's another easy cage. You must search thoroughly. Search thoroughly, they can be pretty well hidden. Even now I'm barely able to understand.
Come on, who's the king here, you guys?
Yeah, really, it's me.
I don't even.
Me.
Well, Rayman Legends did state
Stop!
that species had a lot of kings,
You know where they are?
and it seems to be true here.
What I have to say is really dreadful.
Dreadful.
Pirates
I'm all ears.
to prison. But don't worry, all is not lost. Because using the energy from the 5 bombs you picked up, we can send you to the front where the pirates are. When you're there, look for the teensy circles.
Teensy Circle.
We'll be waiting for you there with all the latest news. By the way,
This game took me about 10 hours to get from start to finish blind. It might take about 7 or so hours.
you'll be able to shoot
This will be a fairly long game, nothing RPG material, but lengthy enough that it's probably going to take a month or so before I get the footage and commentary dealt with this game. Do your magic, other King Teensy, or the Grand Minimus. I remember when I first got introduced to the Rayman series by stumbling upon Oh, I didn't realize it. That there are gloves for pointing out that you can scroll from one row of files to another. As I was saying, I was first introduced to Rayman series, particularly this game. First heard of it by watching some PlayStation commercial for Rayman 2. It intrigued me, though I haven't gotten around to it. The first Rayman game I played would be Rayman 3. When I was half this age, I rented it for the Cube, and I remember liking it enough, though not being addicted and not getting around to picking it up. Later I got Rayman Arena, which is my least favorite Rayman game. Not really a lot of free play value. I mean, the racing's pretty fun, but the battle is rather weak. But the third Rayman game I picked up, and some more tutorial stuff. Okay, L2, seriously. It's a Game Boy Advance game that contained Rayman 10th Anniversary and that handheld's version of Rayman 3. Both of which I enjoyed quite a bit. More so Rayman 3. Since the first game, especially on the handheld counterpart, can be unfair and frustrating. I picked up the first Rayman game not too long before I started out playing it, partially blind. Time for some luck on practice. Then the next Rayman game I got would be Rayman Legends, about a couple years ago for the Wii U. I consider that the best Rayman game, although this one is probably a close second. I mean, when people discuss Rayman games, which one the favorite one was, people generally point out to this game. I mean, by no means was Origins or Legends overlooked, but this is like the one game that people find to be a killer app, and it is a really good game, although I do not find it to be as high of quality as like Super Mario 64 or even Sonic Adventure, but it is a fine, well-aged platformer. It's still enjoyable to this day. But not this time.
Now they eat the butterflies
Not the butterflies.
and chase away any intruders. Watch out, they might attack you.
And they could attack me too. Those monsters. So I assume at this point if I played a lot of other versions, there would be level select screen up here. Stone circle. I shall head there, but first I like to look around these open worlds, see if I can find some more lums, which are actually pronounced looms, at least if you play the French version of this. One thing that is odd is that instead of Rayman throwing his fists at enemies, he throws some energy balls. Did the developers just have a difficult time animating flying gloves or something? Or did they just decide to change it up? Stone circle. It's not the right way. I remember there's some river that I'm able to find about 10 or so lums at. There's another one right there. 1,000 lums in this game. You can use those lums to upgrade yourself. It's not too complex of an upgrading system, but it's a thing, and it does help with some of the levels.